Okay, so we're at step 4, and this is going to be creating an iOS app ID. Okay, so I'm going to click here to create the app ID. And because I want to add a new one, I'm going to click the plus symbol in the corner. And then it's going to ask me for some details here. So we've got an app ID description, and lower down we've got a bundle ID. So if I go back to the Zapable steps, so we need to enter this app in the description section. So I'm going to select that and copy and add that in this section here. And then lower down we've got a bundle ID. So I'm going to copy that in. I'm going to copy. I'm going to paste that in here. Now this is where we consider the app services. Okay, so as it says, and select all the services you want to include the things you may want to add to the app later. Push notifications are crucial, and you may want to add in sort of in-app purchases as well. Okay, so once we do this, we'll just carry on and select the options below, and then we can come back and find the push notifications there, because we'll need to add an SSL certificate for that. Okay, so this is the app services part. And like I said, I don't need to add any of these other ones here, but I do want to scroll down and find the push notifications one there. Okay, so by default we have the in-app purchases selected. So even though the guidance on there recommends we do that, it is, or it seems at the moment that it is by default there pre-selected. Okay, so we've just added the push notifications. So I'm going to click on continue. Okay, so we have those options there. And obviously the push notifications one is configurable here. Okay, so we're going to go to register. And again, with these options, okay, we're going to click on done. Okay, and there is our sort of selection of files there. So although that seems to have completed that process, there is something we need to redo by going back into this app ID and making an edit. Okay, so it doesn't seem to allow you to do it as part of the process, or not that I've been able to do. So what we need to do is go back to the app ID that we've just created. Okay, and you can see here that the Game Center is enabled for development and distribution. The in-app purchases again enabled for development and distribution. But then we have the push notifications with a yellow sort of our amber warning, if you like, saying that it's configurable. So what we need to do is go to edit. Okay, and then we'll scroll down near the bottom where we will find the push notifications section here. Okay, now this again is going to depend on whether it's in development or if it's a production. Okay, so if it's ready to go, then you want to go for the production. Obviously, if you're submitting your app as a development one, then you need to go to the development SL certificate instead. Okay, so for me, even though I don't have this enabled on the app just yet, it's always best to add this at the very beginning to save some headaches further down the line. Okay, so I'm going to go for the production one, click on create certificate. So this is going to ask us to create a certificate signing request, a CSR file. Okay, so all we need to do is you can have a quick read through this. I think some of this information is going to be passed through via the Zapable system. Okay, so you don't need to worry too much about it. I'm just going to click on continue, and we need to upload our CSR file from earlier. So I'm going to choose that file. So click that sign in request file, click on open, and now we're going to go to continue. And then that has now given us a certificate. Okay, so an Apple Push Services certificate. So it expires in August of 2019. So it gives us a year, just over a year with this. Okay, so I'm going to click on download, and now that's giving me an APS CER file. So I'm going to put that in with the other files that we have, and then I'm going to go to done. Okay, so I've got an Apple Push Services one here. So now I need to go back to the Zapable steps, go to browse, add the APS file, click on open, and then on upload. So that's uploaded our SSL certificate. The next step is step 5, and this is going to be creating a provisioning profile. So I'm going to click here to generate a provisioning profile. Close down the other tab, go to the plus symbol just like we've done with the others, and then we're going to create a provisioning profile. Okay, so for this one it's going to be an app store. I'm going to click on continue, select the app ID, so obviously this is the one that we've just made. Go to continue, and then this is the one for the profile that we created earlier. So this is today's date. So I'm going to click that one and go to continue. I'm going to give this a profile name. So I'm just going to call this one EM Academy to match the name of my app. And then I'm going to click on continue. And then it's giving me an iOS distribution file here, so I can download that. And again, I'm going to move this file over into my folder so that I have that here. And let's click on done. So now I've got this profile here. I'm just going to go back to the Zapable screen, and it's asking for my provisional profile here. So I'm going to click on browse and my mobile provision folder or file, and then upload. And that's uploaded that certificate successfully. Okay, so that is the end of step 5. So now we need to move on to step 6, which is the team ID. And really simple, we just click here to find the team ID. Okay, and now I have my team ID, so I'm going to copy that in, and I'm going to paste the team ID into this section and click on save. And that has saved my team ID. So that was a really easy step to follow.